All right, Shalom. Shalom. Salaki, give me a second, brother. Give me a quick second. Get the show on the road. Ugh. Give me a quick second, brothers. All right, Shalom, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Wadash. I want to say and give double honors to the apostles and the bishop elders of Great Millstone for teaching this word in truth and sincerity and for ruling well. And salutations to the elect, Lord willing, we're some of those men and women who believe in fear in the name of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. And I'm my brother Gabar Yahweh from GMS Hawaii, coming to you with another lesson. And this lesson was inspired by a lesson I was watching earlier with Apostle Tahar, and he had mentioned, a good title for a lesson, about America. And then Apostle Gabar, he did a lesson, which I didn't get to watch it, but I clicked on it so I can, and it says we are not supposed to be happy in America. We are a nation in exile, right? And so the title of this lesson is entitled "America is not our forever home. It is an open air. It's a open air prison, right? And that's what America is, right? And anywhere else we're at in this world, we're in prison. We're not free. We're not sovereign, right? We're not allowed to worship our power in 100% in these places that we're at, right? This is the reason why, they oppress us, and obviously the curses, but they oppress us because they don't want us to be reigning over them. Like the world doesn't want it, right? Even our own people don't want it. So, give me a second. Even our own people don't want it. Our women, they're afraid of masculinity. Slap it, bro. Give me a second. Hey, relax. Yeah. They don't want it. They're afraid of it. They're afraid of the Israelite man and coming into his power, right? So these nations, they do whatever they can to keep it the status quo, which is what? Us in prison, right? But we weren't born to be in prison. This is just a temporary thing, right? It may seem like a long time, that little season, but before this, we were still in exile, but we had power on this earth, like particularly during the Middle Ages, right? Particularly during the Middle Ages, and it wasn't righteous then. So again, we were still in exile because we weren't home. We weren't ruling out of Israel, right? We got expelled from that land for our wickedness. We got killed off of that land for our wickedness. And then on top of that, we got put into captivity for not only for our wickedness, but also for our learning, right? And the ones that would learn this true lesson would be the elect of Israel. Lord willing, we're some of those men and women that believe, right? We were set down here to pay for our sins and our iniquities. And the reason why these nations rule over us, because the Lord uses them as his whooping stick. They're basically like the guards to the prison right now. The same world that we were on, we were defiling the Lord's name, profaning his name in the sight of these heathens. Right now, these people are ruling over us. Right now, these people have taken control of not only our land, our history, our narrative, right? Everything, the earth, right? As the scripture says right here in the book of Job 9 and 24. Job 9 and 24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So who's the wicked? Esau, Edom, right? And that's why, like, initially I opened up, I had this image right here plastered on it. This image speaks 1,000 words. It speaks volumes. This is during the time of the so-called depression in America, right? You got it's basically like an oxymoron, right? Per se, because America was built for these people, not us. It was built on our backs, right? It was built on our blood. It was built on the land theft and robbery and lies, but it wasn't built for us. It was built for these heathens, just like ancient Egypt was built for those Montezarianites, those heathens, right? Those damn Hamites, right? Yeah, you had Jake thriving in certain areas. You had Jake that were comfortable with their life there, but the Lord ultimately pulled us out of there because he wanted us to go home and to worship him, right? He didn't want us to worship these idols, right? These other so-called gods, right? He didn't want us to follow after the customs of these heathen because they were abominable. So he had to take us out of our captivity, which he did. He raised up Moses and Aaron. He even brought his son Yahushua, who was that death angel that came and put to death all the firstborn of Pharaohs. Because why? And all of Egypt, right? Because why? Because they held his people in captivity, right? America is not the promised land. A lot of you Jakes think that because you see a few of your people make it, and what you think make it, right? You don't know what they're really doing to get those little gifts, right? A lot of times they selling out. They doing wickedness. They doing what Esau does. So again, this picture shows you 1,000 words because it shows you that America is not our forever home. And it's not even Esau's forever home, right? Because his house is about to be destroyed. And he's about to be put into captivity. But it says the world's highest standard of living. There's no way like the American way. And the American way is the Edomite way. And you see that, right? Here it is during the Depression, a country that was fucking catching hell. Advertisers had the audacity to make an illustration of Edomites living good, because after the Depression, Esau came into his golden age, particularly in the 1950s, right? And this image would be fit for the 1950s. They had the nuclear family, right? They had the father and the mother and a damn dog, and they were able to have cars and go on vacation. The woman could stay home and not have to work, right? She could take care of her husband. But at the same time, they was claiming that America had the world's highest standard of living, which it doesn't. You had Israelites standing in food lines, like begging for food. They had buckets to get some handouts, right? They had buckets, and look. Jake was ashamed. The woman was ashamed, and Jake just looking like, man. And who knows how long they stood in that line to get little or nothing, right? So this shows you that America is not our forever home. And like Elder Apostle Gabar captioned his Salakia brothers captioned his lesson, right? Which is what we are not supposed to be happy in America. We are a nation of exile. We're not. This is the place of our captivity, right? This is the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Yeah, this place is not our rest, right? Because it is polluted. This place is extremely polluted with wickedness and evil. It shall destroy you, right? When you put your heart in this place, when you put your soul into America, it's going to destroy you. And everything in this society points to you that this is not your place, whether it be the living conditions in this place, whether it be the innate hatred that all the heathen that come to this place have towards us, right? I have an example of that. I'm going to play it real quick. Give me a quick second. I'm going to have to share this video. I'm going to play this real quick example. While these other nations, including Esau, get to come over here and live good, they think that we're supposed to be slaves. They think that we're supposed to be their workforce. And that's totally not the case, right? That's totally not the case at all. But real quick, this is from TikTok. I found this on TikTok, or came across it on TikTok, right? And I'm going to just fast forward because this dude talks. I want you to hear what this woman said about so-called black and brown people. This woman was in Beverly Hills. This bitch, mind you, this bitch is a so-called Persian, right? She took Jake's, she using that hand signal to show what minute status you so-called Negroes, Latinos are on. And mind you, that these people wasn't even bothering her. She started following them.
You know that she is going to use slurs in this footage.
Yeah, she said Persians own Bugatti, Persians own Bouchard.
Persians own Range Rovers, not niggers and pigs.
You see. She said Persians own Bugattis, they own Bouchard, all of this bullshit, not niggas and spics. And this is what all heathen nations think of us, right? And if this was our forever home, this would never happen, right? And she might be an Edomite, right? But these Persians, these heathen, they have a false sense of pride about themselves, right? They believe that they're the best, they're the greatest. But she wouldn't even be able to live like this if it hadn't been for Esau establishing a place called America on all his murder, death, kill, right? How was Beverly Hills established? How was California established? How was all of the United States established, where these nations get to come over here and enrich themselves? And by doing so, they also look down on our people. We don't belong in their areas. First of all, the earth wasn't even made for you, you fucking heathen. It wasn't made for you, but how could you be happy in a world like this where you're treated like this just because of how you look? They don't even know that they hate you because it's in their spirit to do it. They hate you because the way Esau taught them to hate you, because your visage, your skin color, your economic status, right? All of that. If this was our forever home, the heathen wouldn't be able to propagandize their hatred towards us and had a whole world feeling that way, like we did something to them. And it happens to you so-called Negroes and Latinos. Because why? Because you're the Israelites. So-called Mexicans, you're the Israelites, right? But yet you got Jake that will die for this place, that want to die for this place, but you accept being treated like this. Can you imagine this bitch saying something like that to us in our kingdom? Are you out of your? She ain't gonna say that. She's not even gonna be able to be a concubine. A woman like a demon like this, you just gonna go there. We're gonna throw you in the pits with your dirty ass Elamite brothers and sisters, man. From India to Persia to fucking Afghanistan, all the motherfuckers going into slavery, they all trash. The Heavenly Father, see, you gotta understand something. The way these heathen look at us, we're supposed to be looking at them like that and more. The Heavenly Father don't rate these fucking nations. They're not rated. The lands they live in are not rated. The Most High don't think nothing about these people. He said, what do you say about these people, man? Right? And this is the reason why, well, first of all, yeah, I'll get it. Well, this is the reason why he said don't take on their customs, man. They're beneath us, man. They're beneath us. But Jake, you don't see that, right? But you want to live with these people because you think this is your forever home. You think you're supposed to stay here and live with this shit. Who the fuck want to live in a house where somebody hates you? That's counterproductive, right? Right? This is Isaiah 40:17. All nations before him are as nothing, and they are accounted to him less than nothing and vanity. Right? So these nations, they're less than nothing, right? Oh, you couldn't see that, but I was just reading Isaiah 40:17. Right? But you Jakes think that this is your name. This is your name. You Jakes think that this is your home. Here it is. You're supposed to be at your so-called home, and these people treat you like you're a fucking guest. They don't even treat you like you're the guest. They treat you like you're the help, and then they shit on the help. Right? Let me play this again.
Niggers are made to clean and cook.
It also shows that
It said niggers are made to clean and cook. Right? Let me play that again.
Niggers are made to clean and cook.
it also shows that this person has internal.
Yeah, she talk about, and then you Jakes be trying to rationalize these people's feelings and their internal thoughts. Fuck their internal thoughts, man. You wouldn't have to do this if this was your home. You wouldn't have to do this if you were set in the place that you were going to be in forever. Can you imagine something like this happening to us in the kingdom of heaven? Are you crazy? It's enough to set their whole nation on fucking fire, right? That's the kind of disrespect. But that's what the heathen have for us because they love it. They love you Jakes being on a low level. They love being able to speak against you and spew their visceral hatred for you. Again, because you're not your rest. This is pollution, and it will destroy you trying to follow after it and trying to love it. Slakia, let me share the screen again. Right, right. This is the book of Lamentations 2:15. All that passed by clapped their hands at thee. They hissed and wagged their head at the daughter of Jerusalem. Who's the daughter of Jerusalem? We are. Saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty? Right. We were supposed to be called the perfection of beauty, right? We were supposed to be called the perfection of beauty, not niggers and spicks and wetbacks. And where she get those terms from? Esau. Esau, Edom spread that hatred. But meanwhile, Esau hates you. He hates you fucking sand niggas and you Persian dogs. And he hates you too. Right? He don't love you. But because y'all Edomites by proximity, this is the hatred that you spew against us. But you always felt that way against us, right? So when they look at us at our lower state, they don't call us the perfection and beauty. They call us niggas, spicks, wetbacks, whatever they want. The joy of the whole earth. We not looked at as the joy of the whole earth. All thine enemies. Who are our enemies? All these nations. All these nations have us in captivity. One of you bros can put that up on the comment board. Was it Jeremiah 30:16? All thy adversaries, they're going to go into captivity. Also, too, one of you brothers can post a precept where it says that Judah and Israel were held captive together, and all that held them captive refused to let them go. We're in captivity, right? All thy enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly, this is the day that we look for. We have found it. We have seen it, and that's how these nations feel about us, right? But again, if this was your forever home, you wouldn't be going through this shit. You wouldn't experience none of this. But this is a part of the of our judgment, right? But we're going to soon be pulled out of here. You can't be happy with somebody talking down to you, a heathen. Of all people, a fucking heathen, a Elamite, a so-called Persian, right? She got a nose job. She got lip fillers. She got fake tits, right? She got fake hair color, right? But even if she didn't have this shit, even if she wasn't living in the lap of wealth, supposedly, guess what? She would still feel that way because she knows that this is not your rest. She knows that, you're not supposed to be here, but she wants to treat you like shit. How could you be happy? How could you be satisfied with this shit? How could you be satisfied with living? You have to get paid to live, right? You got to get paychecks, right? You got taxes, right? You got fucking fees on top of fees, adhesion contracts. This ain't your home, brother. This ain't your home, sister. This ain't. Come on, bro. The servants talking shit to you, bro. The servants, man. Going back to this is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, verse 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all. Of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen, right? And who did the Lord choose? The Israelites. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the what? The world for our sake. The earth was made for the sake of the Israelites. It wasn't made for you heathens to live the highest standard of living. The earth is ours, man. Everything in it, above it, but around it. The Lord created this for the children, the sons of Israel. Right? He created you heathen nations to serve us. Right? But like Apostle Gabar's title of his lesson says, we are a nation in exile. We are a nation in exile. What does it mean to be in exile? Exile. Right? The term exile is a state or being barred or forced to leave one's native country. And that's what happened. We were barred from Israel for our iniquities and evils that we've done. We were forced to leave by who? By Yahweh Bashmi Hawashah, our native country, which is now being overrun and overridden by heathens, often as punishment or due political circumstance. So this was our punishment. America is our punishment. America, that's why I said it's an open air prison. Right? You can go and travel and throughout the prison system, but you still got to come back to your local plantation, which is your country, your state of origin, all of that shit, bro. All of that. That's captivity. You can't even move around without the heathens say so. We got to have their paperwork. We got to have their approval. Right? So this is hell, homie. The fuck? Right? So again, we are a nation in exile, and what? We ain't supposed to be happy in America. Why? Because this is our punishment. Okay. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 14. 414. 144. Let them that dwell about Zion come and remember ye the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting have brought upon them. Who's the everlasting? Yahweh Bashmi Hawashah. He's the everlasting. Right? He brought these things upon us, not just because he just felt like Yeah, I'm gonna fuck my people up. No, we earned that. We well deserved everything that's happened. But let's keep on reading. For he have brought a nation upon them from far, a shameless nation. And that starts with Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, in a strange language, and of a strange language, who neither reverence old man nor pity child. And we've seen that time and time again through captivity after captivity. Right? You got this demon right here. She's all excited, talking down about the Lord. She's talking down to the Lord's people. Mind you, her people had us in captivity, and they're gonna pay for that shit. Them Persians, when they come from Elam, they're gonna pay for that shit. So-called Iranians. Here it is. We live in a country where these so-called Iranians are villainized on TV and in politics and in not entertainment and news, right? But she act like that's not happening to her, right? These motherfuckers worship an idol called Allah, Zoroastrianism, all that other bullshit. They have nothing. They ain't special. There's nothing special about these people. Absolutely nothing special about Persians. They have not added anything to the world except wickedness. Just like Esau. They're not set apart. They're not holy. And then here it is. You got the unholy telling the holy that all they deserve to do is cook and clean. Right? And then imagine what you're going through in these houses when you're doing this shit for these devils. And the reason why you got to cook and clean is because of captivity. Because you in punishment. Right? You think that going to work is a natural thing. Oh, I got to get up and go to work. I got to drive 5-6 miles to go to work, to and from, an hour drive to and from every day. I have to earn a living. That's just something that you naturally supposed to do as a human. No, nigga. The Lord didn't create us to work. He created these heathens to work. The reason why we have to work is because it's part of our punishment. The reason why we don't own our children is because of punishment. The reason why we build houses and don't dwell in them is because of punishment. The reason why we went into hardcore fucking captivity is because of punishment, bro. The reason why we slaves, or these people think that we're slaves, because we ain't slaves, right? We're not fucking slaves, bro. We're in captivity. We were enslaved, but we ain't slaves, man. That belongs to you nations, bro. Isaiah, was it 2:15? Right? Homeborn. Right? Jeremiah 2:14. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? Right? The Lord didn't create us to be that. He didn't create us to be no fucking homeborn slave. It says in the AMP, is Israel a servant? No, we're not. Is he a slave by birth? No, we're not. Why has he become captive and become a captive and a prey? Because of our disobedience and because of the will of the power of Yahweh Bashmiah Shai. That's why. And wherever we at in this world, we're going to be in captivity and we're going to be made to be preyed upon. We're going to be treated like slaves, but we ain't that from birth. These are the nations of that. And it's beautiful because guess what? It illustrates exactly what we've been talking about, which is part of the curses. If you were in your forever home, you would never get treated like this. I don't care if you're the least Israelite to the greatest, you would never get treated like that. You never want for anything. You would never die. You never have to serve your enemies ever again. Right? Your enemies will be serving you in perpetuity forever and ever. And that's what's going to happen in our kingdom. In our forever home, which is going to be start at the land of Israel. After that place is cleaned up and rebuilt. And the land of Israel is going to be bigger than what you see today. The land of Israel is going to encompass everything between the Nile and the Euphrates, man. North and south. That's ours. It ain't yours. All those lands are going to be incorporated into the land of Yasha Allah. And you heathens can't come unless you working, and then you got to leave. And you're going to be oppressed on this earth like it was meant to be. You ain't never going to have a forever home, bitch. Slack it, brother. That just pissed me off, man. Anyway, this is back in Baruch chapter 4, verse 16. It says, these have carried away and the thieves that have carried away as these nations have carried away the dear beloved sons of the widow, right? What the widow is our land. and left her that was alone, desolate, without daughters. Right? But what can I help? What can I help you? For he that brought these plagues upon you will deliver you from the hands of your enemies. So the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shah, is going to deliver us from the hands of our enemies, right? We ain't gonna have to be made a mockery of. We ain't gonna have to have our enemies ruling over us. Because this is an example of that too. This is an image of that. Who's on the bottom? Jake. Who's on the top? Esau. But in the world to come, Esau's gonna be on the bottom along with the rest of these nations. And Jake, the Israelites, we're gonna be on top. Okay, we're gonna be on top. Right? You're gonna suffer. Right? Because the Most High, he brought these plagues upon you. He will deliver you from the hands of your enemies. Right? Go your way, O my children, go your way, for I am left desolate. Yeah, that was it on that. Right? This is the book of Nahum 3:1. Woe to the bloody city. What is that bloody city? America. Right? Right? America is that bloody city. It is full of lies and robbery, and the prey departeth not. Who's the prey? The Israelites, the sons and daughters of Israel. Right? This place that we're living in, America, right? Also spiritually Nineveh, right? Spiritually Sodom and Gomorrah, spiritually Egypt, right? Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon. Hey, this is a bloody city, man, and it's full of lies and robbery. Ain't no truth here, except for the elect, the Heavenly Father's word. That's it. Outside of that, this place is done. It's full of lies and robbery, right? But yet our people want to make this place great again, want to help make it, want to be a part of it, want to see it, want to feel it, right? Because they think that this is the highest form of life that you can receive. Right, it's the highest standard of living, and it's not. You can go to other countries in the world. It's basically where Edomites live at. They have higher standards than America, right? But for a long time, this place had a high standard of quality of living, and that's why all these nations wanted to come over here, and they are over here. But if it had a high standard of living, but not for us, even this day, today, August 7, 2025, America is not a place of high standard of living for us. You feel me? It's not at all. This is the book of Ezekiel, 36, verse 22. Therefore say unto the house of Israel, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, I do not this for your sake, O house of Israel, but for my holy name's sake, which ye have profaned amongst the heathen, whither ye went. Right? The Lord's going to renew us. Right? I'm sorry, this is not what I wanted. I thought it was, though. Bear with me, brothers. Oh, it was 36. It ain't 37. Is it 37? Let's see. 37 and 20. Yep. And 21. Ezekiel 37:21. And say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, behold, I will take the children, the sons of Israel, from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. America is not our land. This place is not our land. I don't give a fuck how many generations we've been here. It ain't our land. Our brothers from the northern kingdom came over here to try to escape the hands of the Syrians, right? And keep the laws which they didn't keep in their own land. But they were still exiled. That's because they were exiled too. They were exiled first, right? But that don't mean that this place is our land. That don't mean that this is their land, right? They went to a place where never mankind dwelt, which is the Americas, right? But it still wasn't their land, and they were only going to be over here for a while until we came over here, and then ultimately Yahweh Bashim Shah is going to gather us all from over here. When I say us all, I mean the hopeful elect from out of the 12 tribes of Israel. And when he does, he going to do what? He going to bring us what? Say unto them, thus saith the Lord, Ezekiel 37:19. Behold, I will take Ezekiel 37:21. And say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, from all these places that we at, because where we at, we living amongst the heathen, and they got the better portion, whether they be gone, and we'll gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. And that's going to be our forever home. We brought into our own land, and then the earth gonna be ours too. We're gonna have total control over the earth, right? We ain't gonna have to stand in no fucking red line. We ain't gonna have to go to our enemy for the want of all things, begging and pleading, right? And just happy with whatever they give us. Oh, there was some good white folks right there. They gave me this. Mr. Jones is good white folks. He gave me all that stuff. Nah, fuck that. Mr. Jones need to give his back to us because Mr. Jones belongs to us, right? Everything that he gave you, he stole. He gave you back small bits and pieces of the stolen property that he took. You know what I'm saying? African-American flood victims line up to get food and clothing at the Red Cross relief station in 1937. So not only was it a damn depression, then Jake was catching hell with these floods, hoping to get something from Esau, right? That they can give their family temporarily while they get through that fucking flood, right? Get the fuck out of here, bro. This ain't our home. This ain't our home at all. Back in 2nd Ezra 6:55, all this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. As for the other people which also come of Adam, which is these other nations, thou hast said they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel, man. So they don't even matter. They're like spit. Right? Let me keep on reading. Again, as for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and have likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us, man. Exactly. Right? Yep. They became lords over us and they devoured us, man. Right? They devouring us. But they're not the lords. The Lord didn't create these people to be lords over us. He created us to be lords over them. Right? And we're gonna get it. We're gonna take all of that. You know, America's not our forever home. It's just a prison, an open air prison. So let me see if anything on the common board. It says, we not possess inheritance with the world. How long shall this endure? Yep, until the Yahushua come. Ecclesiasticus 10:8, because the unrighteous dealing, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Yeah, that's right. Because how Esau get his kingdom? Through deceit, through unrighteous dealings. And we ain't going to get our kingdom through unrighteous dealing and deceit. Everything we do is going to be on the truth. 100% truth sake. The earth never belonged to you heathens. Never. It was never yours. The Lord didn't create the world to be a universal place where his people are oppressed and other nations get to enjoy the fruits of this world. Absolutely fucking not. The Lord don't care about you nations. Y'all not even like a roach. You know, when you slap a fly or a roach, you don't think about that shit. It's a pest. You get it up out the way. That's how Yahweh Shema Shah feels about you nations. But he loves us. Proverbs 10:28. The hope of the righteous shall be gladness, but the expectation of the wicked shall perish. Exactly. And it is going to perish. So this has been America is not our forever home. It is an open air prison. I hope you're edified with that. I will see Shalom on to the next. Hey, Shalom.